Hi everyone, it's Paul. I hope you're okay. Well, the 2024 Cheltenham Festival is now about half an hour in the rear mirror. And what a festival it's been again. I tell you what though, I hate to say it, the bookies certainly won, didn't they? I've never seen a festival like it. And I just thought to drop a quick video on here, almost doing a review of various ones. But the highlight of the week, if you think of the shorter priced fancied ones, you can go through it. But it's like a rogues gallery. You've got Madgeborough, even like Constitution Hill, Brighter Days Ahead. God, it goes on. John Bon. Even Stencil was heavily supported, and that got turned over. Copec de Mee, Galopin des Champs. I suppose even in the Triumph for the 100 to 1 winner, East India, sorry, the cat's coming to say hello, East India Dock, La Lamba, all turned over, Angel's Dawn turned over. There's literally, it goes on and on. It was really, really hard. But in terms of, for me, the impressive performances of the week, the one that stood out, I liked Copec des Bordes in the Supreme Novice Hurdle. I think there's a lot more to come from him. Obviously, in that one, I tipped up Romeo Coolio. I was really happy with his run in third. Would have liked his jockey to have made a bit more use of him, perhaps. But what I would say is that horse will definitely jump a fence and definitely needs further in time. I've got no doubt about that one. Madgeborough jumped like a pig all the way around. I suppose it shows he's got some engine to come back the way he did and finish in the frame. He's a proper machine, that one. Whether 2 miles will be his game, again, I think 2 mile in a proper race like that, especially on decent ground, puts a lot of pressure on his jumping. In the Champion Hurdle, it was carnage. Constitution Hill. There's a lot of people online who would totally disagree with, going, oh, he's not the same horse. I knew he wasn't the same horse, this, that, and the other. For me, he jumped well. He tanked through the race as always. He was putting in good jumps. It's just one of those national hunt things. He stepped at the hurdle and down he went. It happens. Now, the loss for the Champion Hurdle looks like being Punchestown's game, because from what I'm hearing, he is going to Punchestown to take on the best of the Irish again. So that'll be great for racing. It'll be great for Punchestown. And I'd look forward to seeing that. Brighter Days Ahead, there was no excuses. A bit like there was no excuses last year in the Mears Hurdle. I think the reality is she just isn't as good around Cheltenham, if we're being totally honest. Golden Ace, however, clearly is designed for Cheltenham, won the Mears last year. Fortuitous, it has to be said, won the Champion Hurdle this year. But, you've got to be in it to win it. Roll the dice and see where it goes. I do feel for Stateman, he didn't look like he was going to retain his crown. Took a crashing fall, luckily none the worse for the wear. So that was good to hear on that. There was some really good performances. I was really, really taken with Haiti Colours on day one. Did exactly what I'd hoped he would do, go to the front and just grind it out. I think he's got a lot more to come, and he's a proper serious staying type. So I'm fascinated to see what they're going to do next year, or maybe even this year. The upside, I think we're going to find, the going was pretty quick all week at Cheltenham. So that won't have taken as much out of the horses, I don't think, as it has previously when it's been soft and heavy. And I think Punchestown and Aintree are going to be quite interesting, because a lot of the shorties have been overturned. Connections will want to get them out quick, and I don't think it would have taken as much off the horses in this ground. So that's going to be really interesting to see where they go with that. On day two, the New Lion was just phenomenal. That I was so impressed with that horse. To be honest with you, I had the selfish side of it. When the yellow clay was there and the New Lion took him, as you know, if you watch the video, why they didn't send the yellow clay 3 mile, I still don't know. And when it turned into a speed duel after the last, there was only going to be one winner. The New Lion, he is a serious horse. That not very big, but he is serious. If you ask me, if I was JP McManus, where would I go? 100% Champion Hurdle next year. The horse tanks through the races, clearly got an engine to win over 2.5, and has got bags of pace. It's a perfect Champion Hurdle horse. But do you know what? Take nothing away from the second. The Yellow Clay is a serious 3 miler, and even Final Demand, for all he disappointed, he was beaten about 6 lengths in the end. That horse is massive. Once he goes over a distance and over fences, he's going to be really, really exciting, that horse over fences. Ballyburn just didn't perform. And from a very, very early stage, I thought, this one's going to get beat. You could see it. And do you know what? And I mentioned in the video, it's the head carriage. His head carriage is so low. He just doesn't make a great shape over his fences. But to be fair to him, he stayed on until the end. So he's got a massive engine. But given his head carriage and the way he races, I just don't know what I'd do with him. If it was me again, if someone said to me, he's your horse, what are you going to do? I would do, and I don't know what everyone else's thoughts are, I would do the big bucks approach. I would forget fences. I would go back over hurdles and target the world hurdle next year 100% if he was mine. So, yeah, that's what I would do. Whether they listen to me or not, I don't know. They'll never see it, but who knows? In the Coral, it wasn't it? A tipped up Ballad, and what a run that was at 16-1. Run an absolute screamer in Impostoir. We put in there as well. Run a belter in second. Then we're looking at where it goes from there. The one we've got to mention, and I've kind of glossed over it because she does what she does. Lossiemouth, just going back to the first one. She is unbelievable, isn't she? That was the breathless performance. I was so impressed with it again, especially on the back of a full. They'll be kicking themselves they didn't do what Golden Ace did and go, right, let's go the champion hurdle. But who's to know that would have happened? And she's got another Mares hurdle in the bag. In the champion chase, John Bon, it was that one mistake. And again, where he came from to come second was a frighteningly good performance. Now, what I would say is, and it was the theme of the week, the starter on that was an absolute joke. And it lit John Bon up from the start. But what we know about John Bon is he gets 2.5 mile. He's won the Melon Chase at Aintree. In the main, he jumped great, apart from that one mistake. And I think it was because after the start, a lot went far too fast. But Marine National won, and as I said, on an emotional level, that's massive. Obviously, Michael O'Sullivan won the Supreme on it 2 years ago, so it was amazing to see him win in that sense. And it was a lovely moment afterwards with Sean Flanagan, with Michael O'Sullivan's girlfriend, who was over at Cheltenham, and that was lovely to see. Amazingly, and obviously I was happy because I tipped it up and it won at 7-1. Michael O'Sullivan did a quick double on day one at Cheltenham 2 years ago on Marine National and Jazzy Matty over hurdles. And on Wednesday, Marine National and Jazzy Matty did the same double over fences, which is amazing. Jazzy Matty, he's absolutely superb. I knew turning in, well, all things being equal, he's going to go and win this. Did it really well. That is just a horse who loves Cheltenham. And my best guess is all roads will be coming back there next year, if we're being honest. I think that's where it's going to end up. He does seem to keep his best for Cheltenham, and I tell you what, there's worse places to do that, isn't it? Trying to think of other good. There was a load of good finishes and a load of good races. Obviously, the bumper. The less said about the bumper, the better. It turned into a sprint, and Bambino Fever did it well, but it was the usual Mullins battalion. A couple of them, like Copacabana, underperformed. For all I don't understand why they rode him round the outside the whole way round. He run about half a mile further. That Calypso horse, the Jigginstown one, was for the money. That's another one you can add to the list. Endless amounts of money for that, and that came right down the field. And then we got on to the likes of the Thursday. Now, on that one we have to step out for here is Caldwell Potter. What a round of jumping that was. That was the definition of jump your rivals into the floor. It was really impressive. And do you know what? He's never looked that good after the massive price tag. I'm fascinated to see what they do with him next. He's a really, really interesting, likeable horse. Lovely grey, but what they do with it, who knows? Now, the Ryanair chase, Factor File was incredible, and looking what happened in the Gold Cup, that'll be another one where they're probably going, I don't know, JP won that as well. He's probably thinking, probably could have gone the Gold Cup. I think the Mullins Yard did something really clever. They used Jungle Boogie completely different than usual and front run him. I think that was to go and throw Ile Foncé off his game, which he did. Worked great. Unfortunately, yeah. And that one was still tanking, but just didn't get home. But he had a load of pressure for the lead. But nothing would have beat Factor File that day. Really, really impressive. I was heartbroken in the stayers. Obviously, I tipped up Home by the Lee, and we barely got a circuit out before Crambo fell in front of him and brought him down. Then another shorty was overturned, T-Hoopu. Now, as I said, I abandoned it. I just didn't get the same vibes I've had for T-Hoopu this year. And ultimately, it proved right. He got beat. Bob Ollinger sprung a huge surprise. But I'm left on that thinking what might have been, because Bob Ollinger and Home by the Lee were next to each other, but it was just pure luck that, or bad luck for us, that Home by the Lee got brought down. But Home by the Lee has battered Bob Ollinger twice this season. So you never know what would have happened, but one thing is 100% for certain, he would have gone very, very close. One of my favourite winners of the week was Jaguar, because I love it when a plan comes together. As I said, everyone who's been with me on the WhatsApp service, I know a lot of us were on at like 9-1, 8-1, more at 7s, etc. and stuff. I'd had word he was working amazing, and that was the plan. And they fancied it on trials day. We got stuck in on trials day, and he won well. But he was brilliant here. To be honest, he jumped better on trials day, but it was just the definition of a well-handicapped horse. Powered clear after the last, and yeah, I was more than happy with that, to put it blunt. And then we've got, as I said, there's a few I'm missing out. I'm just kind of going over it. Then we got the Triumph Hurdle. I was heartbroken for Lalamba. Did absolutely everything right. Jumped around, came the stand side, took it to East India Dock, went past that one, and then the 100-1, who's never run over hurdles, goes and wins. Sometimes in racing, you can't factor these things in. It's just the way of life. Do you know what I mean? It's just what happened. In the Coral Hurdle, Absurd run a really good race, and Ethical Diamond as well. They even hit the frame at big double figure price. Cargeezy did it really nicely. That's a horse with us. That horse has got a serious future as well. Learned to settle a bit better today. It'd be interesting to see if they go and send her over fences. She's not the biggest, so I think they're likely to stick to hurdles. But I might be wrong. Who knows? The Albert Bartlett, I was absolutely gutted for the big Westerner. I've got 0% doubt he would have won. Absolutely none. Was cruising on the inside. Got a bit of a bump from Wendigo. And then that's made him skew. Watch the replay just now. That made him skew. Then he basically had to avoid the horse in front of him when he had the rail run, then switch out, then come home, and he's only gone down a length and a half. That cost him at least 4 lengths in terms of chock speed, etc. and stuff like that. So that was heartbreaking. Equally as heartbreaking was Allegory Devassi. I don't necessarily think she would have got a head back in front of Dino Blue, but she didn't deserve it. But what I would say is, when Dino Blue went on 2 fences from home, she shot 3 lengths clear, but at the last, there was less than a length between them. Allegory Devassi, I know on breeding will get 3 miles, so might have made a fist of it, but she didn't deserve to fall. For all she jumped right throughout, it was she ran a great race. Now, the Gold Cup, I knew the writing was on the wall for Galopin Des Champs. At the end of the first circuit, he didn't jump how he usually does. He was going big. And if you watch Paul Townend, watch the replay, he was shaking him into every single jump. He wasn't happy at any point. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm interested to know what they think or what they say after that race. But the fact is, he didn't travel, he didn't jump. What didn't help was, on the second circuit, he finally got a rhythm, and then Ahoy Senor came down in front of him, and he had to go shooting practically onto the hurdles course and back round. But it says a lot about the horse that he still managed to come second. Take nothing away from the winner, though. I know what you're thinking. Don't know what you're thinking. Did it well. Clearly loves Cheltenham after the Kim Muir win last year. Vastly improving, and now goes the Grand National. I presume they're still going to go the Grand National because the mark won't be overturned. And if he performs like he did there, he'll win the Grand National. But not many do the Gold Cup Grand National double, do they? I think the last who tried to do it, unfortunately, was the same colours, which was synchronised. He won the Gold Cup, but sadly passed away in the Grand National. There was also a very sad Postscript to the Gold Cup, unfortunately, Corbett's cross died in his fall at the second last. I watched it back at the time and I thought, that's a really bad fall, to be honest with you. The Fox Hunters came and went. The winner did it well. Again, It's on the Line just did his usual second place. I just think with that one, I don't know if they need to try some new headgear or something. He just doesn't put it all in. But the one I was really gutted about was Copectomy. Everything I've been told on this for months and months is that this is special. And do you know what? He never, ever looked right. For me, he didn't look right. Now, what got me was his jumping was indifferent. He was changing his legs, I've noticed, and was kind of moving in and out off the inside. But it was the speed he was beaten. He's a lot better than that, and I'm very interested to see if something else comes to light. But Woodoo, or whatever it is, Wadu, did it really, really well. And it was good for Gordon Elliott to get a winner. So I thought that was an interesting one. But it's going to make Aintree fascinating. Now, a lot of you guys have messaged privately. A lot of you guys have mentioned on the video, am I going to do my videos for Aintree? I don't always do Aintree, as you know, but there seems to be, or you tell me, there seems to be a demand for me to do Aintree this year. So if there's enough people want it, then yeah, I'll do it. I've missed doing these. Like, I've realised I haven't really done anything since last Cheltenham. Obviously, we focus on the WhatsApp service, etc. and stuff like that, but I enjoy doing the videos as well. So let me know. And then, who knows, maybe Punchestown after that. Okay, well, listen, thanks for watching all week. Really appreciate it. Appreciate your comments as well. I hope you've found we've found some good winners out of it. We've had some unlucky stories. We've had some bad ones, but that's National Hunt racing, isn't it? Thanks for coming back again this year, guys. Take care.